Welcome to the next Hunt Brothers adventure, riding through snowy mountains, New South Wales, Australia. Classic Clips proudly presents another Hunt Brothers adventure.
7 shadows on the shoulder, chrome waking up the dawn, dust dancing in the mirrors, chasing that horizon on and on. Seven shadows on the shoulder, chrome waking up the dawn, dust dancing in the mirrors, chasing that horizon on and on.
Well, here we are. We're finally off the M1 and we're heading to Bow Desert to pick up Belly. Early March, start of the snowy run. And unfortunately, with all the rain and the floods and everything up in far north Queensland, Vic hasn't been able to get out of his hometown. So we're hoping that he might be able to catch up with us sometime on the ride and at least get some time together. Anyway, talk soon. Okay, viewers, we're coming into the town of Kadungra, a motorcycle mecca. It's a Tuesday morning, and about 7 o'clock, and we might see one or two diehards out here, but I don't think we'll see too many. Anyway, great little town. Few good coffee shops and few eateries, and for those of you that have ever done the Kadungra stopover, it's a must for every motorcyclist. So, and in particular the Met's Cafe down here on the left, excellent Merlot coffee. So anyway, onwards and upwards.
Hello viewers, Classic has asked if I can narrate some of this adventure. My name is Terry Zarzoff, and welcome to the Hunt Brothers Snowy Mountains ride. Excitement building as Classic rides through Bow Desert to RV with Belly. And like a fine watch, Belly was always on time and was tracking Classic through the WhatsApp tracker. After Classic worked his magic and paired up Belly's cardo, the pair headed off to Boona and then on to Warwick. Classic flicked on the rear-mounted GoPro to capture Belly enjoying the morning ride. Belly said over the cardo he was really happy with the new rubber he put on the Beamer. Riding their way to Cunningham's Gap, the lads were saying how great the weather was this morning. Unfortunately could not stop at the Armidale bakery for a meat pie, as it was too early for an Australian gastronomic delight. Belly and Classic encountered their first stop at roadworks. This will be one of many. 2 hours later, the lads burned up 175 kilometers, arriving at the first stop.
The Hunt brothers were tiptoeing past the speed camera coming into Tentfield.
With the conflict in Iran, the boys were talking about the fuel issue. As this was the first scheduled fuel stop on the start of the ride. As they rode into Tentfield, Belly said he was getting very low on fuel and was getting desperate.
The lad said, "Let's not ride past a service station to ensure we get fuel." Classic spotted a servo on the left. "Let's wheel in here," he said to Belly. "Oh fuck!" the boys shouted. "This is not great!" and continued down the road. Could this become the start of FA, they thought? FA meaning fuel anxiety, a biker's nemesis. Belly was able to get fuel at the next servo in Tentfield, and all was good. The lads were chatting about the last time the Hunt brothers rode through this township of Wellington. It was scary. Classic said to Belly, "Did you just see anything strange?" The duo headed southbound down the New England highway. Weather was perfect, bikes in tune, life's good. Classic and Belly were talking over the Cardo bike-to-bike communications. Time for a feed. Soon, they said. The lads pinned the ears back and headed to the bakery at Deepwater for some breakfast. The current drought in New South Wales was starting to become very telling within the landscape. A quick stop at an old favourite, the Deepwater Bakery, for light breakfast, and then make way to Armidale to meet Billy. Feeling great after a shot of coffee and a good old meat pie for breakfast, Belly and Classic rode through Deepwater. On a previous Hunt Brothers ride, the lads bunked down at the top pub, Deepwater.
Bick left his washing out from the last ride.
This was the same roadworks from 12 months ago. What the F? Fuel price seems okay as the lads head south. Belly and Classic arrive into Armidale after almost 500-kilometre ride, looking forward to a cold ale or three.
So, Billy, good to catch up, mate.
Yeah, mate, it was a pretty nice ride down there. Expected to be raining today, but 23 once we crossed the border all the way to Armidale. Very, very enjoyable.
Bit disappointing, Mark couldn't get out of his township because of the floods.
Well, it is sad, but someone else is just going to have to give us the shits for a couple of days, I suppose.
Yeah, we get to look after the kidneys just one extra day, a bit longer.
Yeah, mate. Mark, I think you should give it a go tonight or tomorrow, mate. You could probably catch us as we're leaving Wellington.
Yeah, for sure. Well, if your ride's all night, you could meet us at Wellington.
He could do. He could meet us at Tumut.
There was a time when he'd have a go, wasn't there?
That's right. He's a lot older now, though.
Yeah, well, I don't know whether he's got any more sense, do you think, or not?
Not at all.
All right.
With the bikes parked up for the night, the lads are waiting on Billy to arrive. Accommodation in Armidale was not at the usual motel, as Billy fucked that up.
So, Billy, how was your run up, mate?
Yeah, champion run, good weather.
Yep.
Got wet twice, but didn't stop. It wasn't wet enough to stop, so it just cooled me down and I kept going.
You powered on, mate?
2 coffee stops, 2 fuel stops,
Bike looks good.
and had the bike all nice and clean. Got a bit dirty, but anyway.
You might get an award for the cleanest bike. Won't let it go to your head, but we're just thinking about it.
First time I got cleaned in 2.5 years, so that was a pretty good effort. I reckon.
G'day, viewers. Just dialing in from Armidale. It's Wednesday morning, early March. We're all getting fuel anxiety at the moment, so because a lot of places in the country are running out of fuel. So we're going to brave it and press on. So we'll see how we go.
After leaving their spag and meatballs on the table at the bowling club, uneatable, the lads are now making way to Wellington to meet Rosie. While the lads waited for the heavy fog to lift in Armidale, Classic phoned the service stations in the locations the boys had planned to stay. The overwhelming feedback from the servos was positive and no issues in getting fuel. Let's bring it on. So with that positive news in hand, the lads pinned the ears back and it was off to Tamworth. Another sensational morning, blue skies, warm breeze and the hum of the beamer. The lads wheel their way into Urala, an old stomping ground for the Hunt brothers. Billy looking good. There has been many great nights at the Urala Top Pub, some of which the boys would like to forget, including Showergate. Classic had mounted a GoPro on the back of his bike and captured Belly and Billy soaking up a great morning's ride. Gliding past the steady traffic, Classic is enjoying the run. The lads enjoy riding down the Moombi ranges in the 27-degree temperature. "How good is this?" the boys shouted on their cardos. After a quick fuel stop in Tamworth, the temperature was starting to get above 30 degrees Celsius. The ride from Tamworth to Gunnedah was quick in the 37-degree heat. The boys thought this was a missed opportunity to stop and quench their thirst in an old country pub. Hanging a left-hand turn off the Oxley Highway onto the Black Stump Highway, the boys were gearing up for a quick blast across to Koola. The lads came across many obstacles on the ride. Cattle on the Black Stump Highway was just one of them. Farmers letting their cattle graze on the side of the road due to the drought.
farmer wants a cow.
Belly and Billy having a turn on point. A triple road train making its way north.
Belly and Billy took the time to work through what type of crop was planted in the field. Strange plants, unsure if Riverina rhubarb would grow here, they thought.
The landscape changes every 50 kilometers from flat to scrub. And yes, even more T-bones roaming around on the road as the boys rode into Cooler. After leaving Tamworth, the riders laid down over 200 kilometers and chewed up 2.5 hours. The conversations on the cardo started to turn towards a quick break and stretch the legs. After many years of riding, Billy has mastered the use of a GoPro camera. There does not seem to be much going on in Cooler on a Wednesday afternoon. A quick coffee in Cooler. Time for a happy snap in the main street. The lads were getting the shits with all the roadworks between Cooler and Wellington. The temperature was 37 degrees, and sitting on a hot bike in the sun was not ideal. Arriving into Dunedoo, the last town before Wellington, where the boys meet up with Rosie. The boys were amazed of the size of the solar farm, a blackout Bowen initiative. Good to see they built it on farming land. The panel arrays stretched for acres and acres across the landscape and dotted wind farms across the hilltops. And after a very hot and grueling ride, the lads finally arrive into Wellington. The FA discussion came up on the ride to Wellington, and after arriving into the township, the boys got fuel without any issues and headed to the motel for the night's accommodation.
Okay, Wednesday afternoon, trip across from Armidale to Wellington. It was very eventful. Fog in the morning in Armidale, 36 degrees when we left. About halfway across to Wellington. So arrived in Wellington, all good. Still a few problems with Rosie's bike, but getting it sorted out. And a pretty uneventful day for the rest of it. So tomorrow we're heading over to Tumut. So we're one day away from starting the snowy run. G'day viewers. Classic reporting in from downtown Wellington, New South Wales. Well, we were plagued today with fuel anxiety. Quite a few places didn't have fuel, but the places that we ended up stopping at had what we needed. We paid up to $2.60 a litre, but managed to get what we wanted to find our way to Wellington. So we called ahead to Tumut and Jindabyne, and they all said they got fuel. So hopefully we're not going to have a problem. We're all looking forward to making our way over the Snowy and racking up some Ks. So we'll talk soon.
The boys enjoyed a few lemonades and a good meal at the Cow and Calf Hotel, Wellington, after a long day. A good breakfast at the local cafe before heading off the Tumut.
Downtown Wellington, day 3 of the ride. Packing up, heading up the Tumut for the day. Standard Hunt Brothers accommodation. And ultra-modern bathroom.
The 4 Hunt brothers, now finally reunited, kick off from Wellington and point to Tumut, the gateway to the Snowy Mountains.
Hold it down.
Yeah.
But see how it's got a little red light?
Yep.
That's recording.
Yep.
You turn it off.
So the big unit, not content with Push starting his Ninja on the last ride, due to another electrical issue, Rosie had to push start his bike at every stop.
The boys are in great spirits and now depart Wellington for Tumut. The lads encounter the first roadworks of the day. Rosie now has command of a GoPro, makes good use, the morning sound of his Ninja now resonating across the landscape. Belly, Classic, Billy and Rosie now make their way to Cowra.
With this scenery, there is no need for a biker to explain why they ride bikes in this great country. Such perfect weather.
The landscape is starting to change again. The boys confront the morning roadkill.
The early morning light stretched long shadows across the quiet country road as 4 of the Hunt brothers rolled out in formation. The air was crisp, carrying that unmistakable mix of eucalyptus and dust, while the low sun burned orange on the horizon. Their machines, a mix of BMW Precision, Harley-Davidson Muscle, and Kawasaki Edge, hummed in harmony, each bike telling its own story through the rhythm of the ride. The road stretched endlessly ahead, empty, wide, and theirs alone. No traffic, no noise. Just the deep rumble of engines cutting through the silence of the Lachlan Valley in New South Wales. And yes, another stop at roadworks. The group making their way through some great countryside, arriving at Kewdale, As a narrator, I am certainly having some challenges saying these Aussie towns' names. The riders start performing motorcycle cornering symmetry. It's a beautiful thing. And yes, you guessed it, yet another roadworks to practice the riders' stop-start capabilities.
Arriving into Coudal, a historic village in New South Wales, it is renowned for its rich agricultural heritage in sheep and wheat farming, along with the notable Cumulus Estate Wines winery.
Leaving Coudal, Billy takes the opportunity to capture the great landscape in the area. The next town the riders pass through is Cowra. Cowra, a town in New South Wales' Lachlan Valley, is primarily known for its pivotal World War II history, specifically the 1944 Japanese prisoner of war breakout. As the riders pass through the town of Kanawindra, the boys spot an Aggie scooter making a break for it.
After riding through some tough countryside, maneuvering through peak hour traffic in the country town can be challenging.
The wide sweeping country roads now turn to a cattle track. The riders are loving it. And look, another set of roadworks. The boys arrive in Gundagai and stop for a drink before heading off on the last ride of the day. After a short stop to grab some fuel and a quick snack, the riders start the last leg of the ride to Tumut. Weather has been sensational, they all say over the cardos. Preparing to turn off the great country roads onto the Hume Highway, the lads note the increase in bikes on the road. Time to crank the wrist and get onto the highway.
The lads briefly join the Hume Highway before the turnoff to Tumut, passing the dog on the Tucker Box. The Dog on the Tucker Box is an Australian historical monument and tourist attraction located at Snake Gully, approximately 8 kilometers from Gundagai, New South Wales.
The riders make the final turn off the Hume Highway and make their way to the final stop for the day. The group take the opportunity to have a final squirt on the great country roads before resting up for the day. and after a 400-kilometer day, the lads arrive at their destination. We hope you enjoyed part 1 of the Snowy Mountains ride. Over the next 2 parts, you will see some incredible scenery, funny events, and strange experiences. Please don't forget to like and subscribe and leave comments on your thoughts on the ride so far. So for now, it's goodbye from me, Terry Zarzoff.